Good day friends. Few weeks ago I have made one video on my holistic health philosophy which I used to use while treating my patients, which I have developed in my day-to-day evolving practice after seeing not less than 1 lakh of patients at Indira Gandhi Institute of Medical Sciences, Shekhpura, Patna, Bihar, India. And after seeing that video, many of our friend has called me that doctor, kindly make the same video in English so that I can refer that video to my colleagues which is more well versed in English. So for the sake of that I am making this video in English. And obviously Hindi is my mother tongue and I am more fluent in Hindi but not as much in English, but I will try my best to convey all the things in English language. What is my philosophy of holistic health and holistic health philosophy? So I will translate their question which I have dealt in previous Hindi video, and then I will give reply to one by one questions. In that video that I have replied about the questions were in the nature of the question was that why you call yourself holistic health expert if MCI has not given you such degree. Another question was what is holistic health philosophy and how it is different from the contemporary medical science. Another question was why lifestyle diseases increasing in spite of increasing in the hygienic condition of the patient. Why it is a boon for the mankind. Is it irrelevant for only in disease treatment or else it is worth for anything else also. How you acquired this while you also trained as allopathic physician. Why this knowledge is not being propagated aggressively in the contemporary world. And there are many more some satellite questions which were put it before me and which I have already dealt in Hindi medium, but I will try my best to convey you my philosophy of holistic health as expert, why I consider myself holistic health expert. But before going into the detail, I want to introduce myself to those persons who is seeing my video for the first time. Myself, Dr. Kranti Chandan Jakar, ex and first head of the department, Skin and Beauty Department, Indira Gandhi Institute of Medical Sciences, Shekhpura, Patna, Bihar, India. Although I am a trained dermatologist, but while treating many of the patients, I used to develop some insights of the disease and disease treatment, which I named it holistic health philosophy. And because while doing all the treatment and learning continuously, I developed this and I find this is very boon, particularly for my treatment. I am able to through this approach I am able to treat not only skin diseases but all the types of chronic diseases. Particularly I feel very easy to treat all the types of non-communicable diseases like all types of allergic diseases and different blood pressure, metabolic syndromes you can say, which I am finding very easy to treat it through this newly developed holistic health philosophy. So I started considering and claiming myself as holistic health approach physician. So why I call myself holistic health physician and how it is different from the contemporary medicine. You can think that what is being practiced in today's contemporary medical science is a specialization and super specialization and super specialization. This is I do not consider that it is wrong. It is good, but this is not complete. What I want to say, this is not complete, because if you analyzing at the even at the nano level, but if you go into the detail, into the deep, you will miss the broad picture and overall the findings of the any condition. So if you developed macroscopic vision, then definitely you will miss macroscopic picture of that entity. So in my opinion, what should be the best idea? It should be both. You should have proper knowledge of the macroscopic detail, as well as you should have full knowledge of your macroscopic aspect also. So you should proceed not only objectively, going into the minor detail of the patient and disease condition, but also you should look some broad things also. You should also pay your attention to the some broad aspect also, because ignoring that broad aspect, you will miss out the thing which is overall going in the systematic play that is going inside your body. You will miss that. And if you do not repair the whole orchestra of the event that is going on, then definitely you will not going to treat as a human being, as a system, the whole thing you cannot treat. Then if you treat only singularly, only single disease entity, single specific symptom only, then you will miss the whole path through which the patient can regain their health condition. So I have developed this holistic health approach, which takes into account not only the minor detail, but also the major overall picture of the whole system on which the body works. So that's why I am calling myself holistic health approach physician. Initially, when I started my practice after doing MD and after doing senior residency from Lady Hardinge Medical College, New Delhi, which is Delhi University College, reputed college of India, located in the this Rajiv Chowk and this Connaught Place. While doing my senior residency and pursuing my MD training, I have learned that I also get used to giving treatment to the patient in the usual manner as any other physician can do. I also used to do the same way. But when I have joined Indira Gandhi Institute of Medical Sciences, there are many things which become a fertile ground for becoming myself a holistic health physician. And whatever were the fertile ground? Friends, this is Indira Gandhi Institute of Medical Sciences. It is the FX Institute of the Bihar government. And the 11 crore of around 11-12 crore of people which resides in this poor state, and this institute is the only hope of getting some good treatment and ultimate treatment for this poor people of Bihar. And this is the Apex Institute of Bihar government. So I have got opportunity to get myself experienced while dealing with each and every complicated patients who is having a problem related to the gastroenterology department, problem related to the neurology department, problem related to the cardiology department, and those problems particularly which are not being covered by other medical colleges of the Bihar. So I have got opportunity to deal that patient also which is not being rectified, which are not getting properly treated to the normal states medical colleges. So I have got opportunity to get myself used to treat those patients which are normally not being treated elsewhere. So I have got enough opportunity and exposure also how a gastroenterologist treat some gastro problem, some neuro problem. And while dealing the skin patients, because suppose anybody has got gastro problem also, and suppose anybody has got hepatitis B, and along with hepatitis B, he or she has developed some jaundice like things, and that the same person has also developed urticaria. In this condition, chronic itching hives developed. So that gastro people has referred to that patient to go to the skin department, and that patient has come to me and asking for the treatment of the itching, severe itching condition that he has developed. So the gastro people consider myself that I will only treat the skin portion of the that patient's complaint, which I used to treat only that only. Initially I used to treat only the skin conditions. So if anybody came to me, then I will look only the skin portion of that, and I will advise, I would have been advised some anti-allergic tablet like fexofenadine and given the medication to him or her. And after receiving medication, his or her conditions improved, although it is mildly improved, but somewhere it is improved, and patient continued his or her treatment in the gastro also. And if he has or she has got some neuro problem also, some endocrine problem also like diabetes and hypertension, that person will be has also been dealt with a proper department. So the same patient has undergone treatment to the one endocrinologist, consultant endocrinologist for his or her diabetes and uncontrolled diabetes, and the gastro people for his hepatitis B and jaundice, and dermatologist for skin ailments. But you can think that what treatment I have prescribed, as long as patient has taken that treatment, patient's itching subsided. But when the patient left the treatment, again the itching has started. So patient again has started taking the anti-allergic medications. Now if the patient came to me up to and asked me up to what time I have to take medicines, I have no any other options other than that I can tell him that you have to take it for lifetime. As you are taking your hepatitis B medication for lifetime, I also ask you to take this medication for lifetime. But the treatment that I initially used to prescribe, even in this institute while I have joined in 2013, but thereafter I strike that why I can treat also the gastro problems and also the this diabetes problem along with this skin problem. So it will be a good idea if I consider the as a whole and toto the disease. I do not consider that this is this system disease, this is this system disease. If I consider the whole his or her body as a system, then if I can correct the system, then definitely I can treat these three conditions in a single go. So I have started thinking in the terms of holistic health approach, because if anybody asks you that if anybody tell you that look, I have developed some ailments, then definitely you will ask him or her that what ailment do you have. But if anybody tells you that look, I am healthy, so definitely you will not ask him or her that what health do you have, because you all know that diseases are many but health is single. Although diseases are many but health is single. So if you can show you the central light of the flashlight of this health, then I will definitely cure show you the way how you have deviated from this central line of health. So if you can, I can show you the central line of health. Wherever you have wandered from the central line of health, you will again reach your axis of health. you can again regain the your health axis by uh, covering the same way that you have deviated from the health. So in that case, if I can I can show you the health condition, then definitely I can cure all your ailments. This is in theory, but what is the practical thing? Our body is made from our food. So if any diseases that has occurred inside our body, how it has evolved? It is through our wrong diet and exercise, diet and lifestyle. So if I can correct the diet and lifestyle of the patient, I can cure all the different ailments of anybody. If you can think in that perspective, then you will be also going in the same way, which I call holistic health philosophy. This is nothing new about it. Many of the researchers and physicians and many of this scientists has also many times years ago have already said that all diseases can be cured by this diet and exercise. So I have applied the same knowledge, the same old knowledge, through my special way, so that I will be able to cure the patient. So what I have changed and how it has evolved? Initially I used to do all the investigation to the patient. Even if the patient has only skin complaint, I used to investigate the patient through the whole system, the liver function test, the kidney function test, the lipid profile, the all allergy profiles, the all the carcinoma markers, and all the different investigations I used to perform to the same patient. Patient doesn't have, even if the patient doesn't have got any other systemic ailments also, I used to do all the investigations. And after having more than 1,000 of the patient that has investigated, thereafter I have analyzed the all investigation, what I have got, that every diseases can be cured by changing the diet and lifestyle of the patient. And I also came to know the old Indian sayings, which is prevalent and which is known to even the common man of India. What are the three sayings, old Indian sayings? What are the three old Indian sayings? You can know the in Hindi meaning, and then I will translate it. The first is मेहनत का फल मीठा होता. It means, it will be translated into English is that if you want to take sweet, do the physical labor. मेहनत का फल मीठा होता. It means if you want to take sweet, then do physical labor. And another saying is that दाल रोटी खाओ प्रभु के गुण गाओ. It means if you want to do some mental work, not physical work, if you want to do some brain work, not physical labor, so you should take pulse and bread. And the third one saying is किसी का दाल रोटी कोई नहीं छीन सकता. It will be translated into English like that. Pulse and bread is not being banned, is not being prohibited while treating any disease. So pulse and bread is not being prohibited while advising to any of the disease patient. So pulse and bread can be taken by even the disease person also. So this is the three Indian sayings, and applying the different some other aspect of the also medical science, like how is the calorie requirement of the patient, what is the BMR of the patient, and how many calories are dissipated while doing particular form of physical labor. I have accumulated and I have jointed all the things, the three Indian sayings, the knowledge about the calorie dissipation of the body, knowledge about the basic metabolic rate, knowledge about the different skin pathologies and knowledge about the different investigational wrongs that I have observed in my patients. I have accumulated all the things, and thereafter I have made a new entity that is known as holistic health philosophy. So this is nothing any brand new thing, but I have made all the different ways. I have made a single way, and uniting the different ways I have made, this is the holistic health philosophy. Because if you see that while you have made different super specializations, but you should know that if I remove the liver, I remove the kidney, I remove the eye, I remove the skin, I remove the bone, then it will not work singularly. If I remove each and every organ, it will not work in a singular fashion. But in unity, in union, they will work as a system and make you a healthy human being. So while treating any patient, you should not only have narrow vision and tunnel vision, but you should also know the whole vision that you can also acquire. Then you can only treat as a whole the whole patient. So, and you can also know that anybody in this world has got any disease. If you ask anybody, any diseased person, that look, you have got heart attack, you have got cancer, you have got this heart attack, you have got kidney failure, tell me what is the ultimate wish for you? Then definitely all the patients will tell you that I want to regain my health. Everybody, whatever his or her condition might be, but all of them must tell you that I want to regain my health again. So whatever the ailment anybody have, everybody's wish is the same, that is to regain the health again. So if the aim of everybody is same, then how this way is different? It is not different. It should not be different. So that was the main underlying philosophy through which I have developed this another way how to deal and how to see any particular disease. So in my holistic health approach, what I see, if any disease came to me for the treatment, I not only see that this is only a skin disease, I see that similar patient must have developed 4 to 5 ailments also, because it is almost impossible that if anybody has got a skin disease, then he is only having a skin disease. No, because the skin is the mirror of the body. If that person has developed a skin disease, then in the process of developing a skin disease, he or she might have also developed some other systemic elements also. The only thing is that if he or she is not getting symptom, and development of symptoms might take time, but if you can do the whole investigation, then you can catch the disease even much before time to the development of symptom. Even before developing any symptom, you can catch the disease at the early stage while doing investigations. So if I can do the all investigation to my skin patient, then I will get enough opportunity to show the patient that look, you have also developed fatty liver, you have also developed this anti-TPO elevation, you have also developed increase in the Ig level, look, you have also developed increase in the insulin level, etc. So if you can show the patient that look, this is the thing that you are also having, then he might consider that, oh, I am not only having the skin disease, I have also many ailments also. In that case, he will hear all your instruction properly, because he will be in a fear state. If anybody has only one disease, if anybody has a 4 disease, 5 disease, then definitely he will be more inclined to accept your instructions in comparison to the fact when he is only having a skin disease. So they might take your instruction lightly, but if you have if your patient has having many ailments, then he will be more serious, become more serious while listening to your all instructions. So definitely you will treat all the conditions. There is a one colloquial statement in the common living in India, that Jada Jogi Mathujar, that more master makes a work जो है कि rubbish. It means more master makes a work rubbish. So if you need not many masters to deal each and every condition, but you should take only one master which can see the disease in a whole perspective, in a whole holistic perspective, then in that case your patient will be more easily can be regained the health axis. So this is the philosophy of mine which I have developed while seeing not less than 1 lakh of patient in my regular skin OPD, which I have already seen while I was HOD of these institutions. And not only HOD, I was the establishment HOD. It means there was no skin disease in the Indira Gandhi Institute of Medical Sciences, but I was the first faculty to join, and I was the lone faculty, and I was also the HOD in charge of this skin department in this institution for not only 1 year, for as long as 6 years. And during that time I have seen not less than 1 lakh of patients, and on the accumulation of that experience which I have gathered through all the patients which listen to my instructions and do as what I have told him to do, and thereafter he not only corrected his skin ailment but also the underlying other systemic ailments is also corrected, and they have also given me knowledge how to treat each and every diseases, particularly chronic diseases, by changing the lifestyle and diet of the patient. So this is the answer of your first question, that why I claim that I am a holistic health expert, because during the process of my experience as a HOD in charge and seeing not less than 1 lakh patient, I have gathered information, and I have also visited not less than around 50 different disciplines conferences. I have also attended not less than 50 different national conferences of neurology, gastroenterology, pathology, physiology, biochemistry, each and every disciplines conferences I have attended, and I have accumulated that knowledge from each and everything, and what I have done, I have mixed all that and this defined it, and it is in the form of holistic health philosophy which I am preaching in my day-to-day clinical practice. So this was the answer of the first question which I have inputted. So although I am not a trained, there is no such degree like holistic health physician by the Medical Council of India, but due to my experience and my nature of the work, which I consider myself that I am a holistic health physician. Number 1 point. Number 2 point, which is the question, why what is holistic health philosophy? And there is another aspect to knowing the detail of why it works, how the diet and exercise can cure all ailments. If you want to know, and if you want to consider it, and if you want to assimilate this knowledge, then you should know some basic thing that which I have observed and made some hypothesis out of this. And this is not a hypothesis for me, it might be a hypothesis for the world, but it is one of the principle for me, because I have got many proofs of this. But the other world will consider it hypothesis, but it is my all the knowledge which I have acquired, which is my all the way of treatment of my patient which has become. So, and I in 10 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes, I will elaborate how a disease produces, how a particular food and a particular lifestyle produces a disease. So, listen it. Suppose anybody, our skin is our how our body is made of. By it is made of our food. I became from childhood. I was small entity, and I have become like this. How it has happened? It is the accumulation of food that I have taken. So, if my body gets in a wrong place, what would be the cause? Definitely it should be the faulty food that I have taken, or the faulty lifestyle that I have developed during the period of time due to which I have developed disease process. So why anybody become diseased? It is due to the wrong food and wrong lifestyle. So this is the first thing that you have known, that any disease anywhere is occurring in the world, it is basically due to the taking the wrong food and wrong lifestyle. This is the first principle of holistic health philosophy. And the second point is that whether you have developed this blood pressure, hypertension, diabetes, hypothyroidism, migraine, this hyperlipidemia, this heart attack, chronic liver failure, chronic kidney failure, this eczema, psoriasis, vitiligo, hyperpigmentation, oral ulcer, genital ulcer. Why all the disease will be occurring? It is due to the allergy. And why allergy is occurring? It is due to the increase in the insulin level. And why the insulin will be raised? If I take more than my exhausted calorie, then my body has to accumulate my calorie and assimilate my excess calorie inside my system only. And the process of assimilation of extra calorie that you are taking on a day-to-day basis, this work is done by insulin. And if your insulin is increased, then you will be in trouble. You will be in trouble. If the insulin is increased, the only thing that it says that you have taken more and more calories than your daily requirement. So you have taken over an excess of your daily requirement calories, due to which only insulin will be increased. Suppose my body requires only 2000 calorie, and I will start taking 3000 4000 calorie daily. If I take one day 3000 4000 calorie, then it will not harm me. But if I continuously take for a year, in a year or monthly basis, the excess calorie, then definitely the excess calorie which is accumulating inside my system, definitely it will corrupt my system, and I will develop some or other ailments. Definitely anybody can, even layman can can better understand this. So anybody can get one question here, that if I do not do anything, I just remain in a sedentary state, then does it will not cause any expenditure of calorie? Yes, it will also cause expenditure of calorie. This is known as basic metabolic rate. Even if you don't do any physical labor, still you will need some calories, and that is known as basic metabolic rate. Why? Because your heart beats at not less than 1 lakh beat per day, and your brain and your liver and your kidney, everything is working even while you are sleeping. So every cells is in a second minute basis, every cells is dying and new cells is coming. So every system is running, and millions and trillions of cells are dying and again reproducing so it will needs calorie. So how much calorie that anybody needs, that is at least not less than 1400-1500 calorie, and an average 50 to 60 kg patient person will need not less than 1400 to 1500 calorie. Even while you live a super sedentary life, then also you will need at least 1500 to 1600 calorie per day. And if you do 1 hour walk, then in 1 hour walk you will dissipate around 300 calorie. And if you if any female do household work and household normal day-to-day life physical labor, like doing cookery, doing this washing of cloth, and doing day-to-day regular household activities, and doing work in this offices, and light work in offices, and so this whole thing in one day will dissipate around 200 more calorie. So you can now add, if anybody work for 1 hour and do some light work in office work and some light homework also, then in one day he will be dissipating how much calorie? 1500 is the minimum requirement, and 200 in the one day work, one day light work dissipation. So 1500 and 200 and 300 the patient will dissipate in 1 hour work. So if you add all the three, then you will add sum, it will be around 2000 calorie. So if anybody works for 1 hour and do household activity, office work, then he will need around 2000 calorie. And if anybody develop any disease, then mind me that that person might have eating जो है कि not less than 3000-4000 calorie daily, and one day overeating will not produce the disease. But if you are continuously eating for months and years, then definitely it will get accumulated in your system and you might be in trouble. So you have understood that how excess calorie will make you ill. So but anybody can tell it at this point that suppose I need only 2000 calorie per day, and a single Coca-Cola can is having 200 calorie. Suppose I take 10 bottles of Coca-Cola, so in that case also I have taken 2000 calorie. So I should not have got disease then. No. Even if you have taken only 2000 calorie, and that calorie if you have taken only by this Coca-Cola, by drinking 10 bottles of Coca-Cola, again it will cause disease. Even if you have taken only 2000 calorie, it will produce disease, because you have taken unbalanced calorie. Because the only thing that is present in Coca-Cola or any cold drink is that sugar and water. There is nothing more than that. So you have taken only carbohydrate, and you have not taken the fiber, you have not taken the protein, you have not taken the fat and different other thing also. So even if you are taking only 2000 calorie, that is the calorie that you dissipate per day, but again that same calorie will also give you the disease, because you have taken unbalanced calorie. So calories should be not exceeding the normal expenditure, but at the same time in that overall calorie you should take in different calories accumulating, because you should not take not more than 30% of your overall calorie in the form of carbohydrate. So take only 30% from carbohydrate, 30% from fiber, 30% from protein, and only 10% from fat. So accordingly you have to take all your food on a day-to-day basis. Then only you can be assured that, oh, then I will not develop any disease. So suppose anybody dissipated only 2000 calorie, and he is taking 3000 calorie daily. So what will happen to extra calorie? So 1 day, 2 day, 3 day, 4 day, 1000 calorie extra, 1000 calorie extra, 1000 calorie extra I am taking. So what will happen? Normally in Indian diet, if you can see that, you will notice that anybody is eating 8 chapati a day, 4 tomato potato a day, half a kg of milk a day, and sugar sprinkled in this milk or in tea. So if you will, and fruits and fruit juices, if you take as much this which I have told you, that it will comes close to the around 3000 calorie. And if you take it daily, and you do not walk for 30 kilometers a day, then what will happen? Extra energy cannot be destroyed, energy can be modified. The excess calorie that you have taken will be gets converted either in the form of fat, either in the form of this inflammatory cytokines, or some or other of this excess calorie that you have taken will be gets distributed here and there, but leaving from the blood. So leaving from the blood, that excess sugar will be distributed here and there, and so it will produce 3 types of diseases. One, due to the fat deposition. Due to excess calorie, it is deposited in the form of fat, and this excess fat deposition has caused blockage of different organs, leading to the different diseases. The excess calorie has developed inflammatory cytokines, developed autoantibodies, free radicals, and leading to the all types of inflammatory diseases. And excess calorie gets dissipated here and there, attracting many different infections. So there are 3 ways through which your body will get disease while taking excess calorie by you. So if you take excess calorie and in a day-to-day basis, and in that excess calorie around 80% will be carbohydrate, then you will develop some disease. So you will develop obesity. Sorry. So not only obesity, but also you will develop this excuse me so if you take excess calorie, then what will happen? It will dissipate in the deposited inside your system in the form of either fat, in the form of other inflammatory cytokine, or in the form of as such sugar here and distributed. If it gets deposited over your tummy, it will not give any ailment to you. What matters that your belly becomes this size or this size? It doesn't matter. What matters if your this thigh becomes so much fatty? It doesn't matter. What matters that your this arms become so much heavy, your this neck becomes so much chubby? It doesn't matter. What happens that you have deposited your excess fat over here? It doesn't matter. This is not a xanthelasma. But if the excess sugar, excess calorie that gets deposited inside your blood vessels, then definitely it will give you in trouble. Suppose the caliber of the arteries that you are having is like this, and you have taken excess calorie and continuously started taking it, and the excess calorie gets deposited in the form of fat and gets deposited inside your arteries, then what will happen? The caliber of your arteries gets narrowed. So what will happen? Heart will have to send the blood through the narrowed arteries. Then what will happen? It will produce hypertension. If your coronary arteries, that is the artery that is supplying blood to the heart itself, so if your coronary arteries gets blocked due to the fat deposition, that is known as atherosclerosis, so what will happen? It will produce myocardial infarction and heart attack. If your several arteries gets blocked, narrowed, what will happen? You will develop a stroke. And if the overall your brain and this cranium gets deposited with fat, so it will produce compartmental effect and leading to the pressure of the inside the brain structure, leading to the anxiety, depression and all types of psychiatric ailments. If the excess fat gets deposited here, this is the position of the thyroid gland. So if the excess fat gets deposited in the thyroid gland itself, then your thyroid gland will feel pressure while doing its performing its natural work. So what will happen? You will develop either hypothyroidism or hyperthyroidism. So if the excess fat gets deposited inside your trachea or bronchus, it will produce your snoring. You will develop the snoring, and you will also develop sleep apnea syndrome. You will start developing apnea while you are being asleep. If the excess fat gets deposited here, this is the place of the liver. If the excess fat gets deposited here, you will develop fatty liver. There are many people, you will see that patient is having non-obese fatty liver. The fellow is not obese, but that excess fat is not deposited in the tummy, but gets deposited only in the liver. This can also happen. That is known as non-obese fatty liver. So if it gets deposited in the liver, then it will hamper the work of the liver, and you will develop fatty liver, constipation, gastritis, and this stone formation, gallstone formation, like that. And if the excess fat gets deposited in the inside your pancreas, the beta cell of pancreas releases insulin, and if your pancreas gets overwhelmed with the excess fat deposition, then what will happen? It will hamper the work of the pancreas beta cell. Then it will develop diabetes mellitus, particularly type 2 diabetes. And if the excess fat gets deposited around your ovaries, if you are female and the excess fat gets deposited around your ovaries, then what will happen? Your ovary feel pressurized while releasing hormones. So what will happen? You will develop polycystic ovarian syndrome like picture, like menorrhagia, like this dysmenorrhea, like this infertility, like anovulation, like different conditions that you will started developing. And the excess fat gets deposited around the prostate gland of a male patient, then what will happen? The prostate gland gets enlarged and leading to the pressure of the central urethra that passes through the prostate will get entrapped, will get this pressurized, leading to the all types of urinary tract infections and increased urinary frequencies you will develop. And if the excess fat gets deposited inside your spinal cord, different nerve tracts, then what will happen? It will pressurize the nerve, leading to the different tingling and numbness and pain like sensation, tenderness and pain like sensation here and there over the distribution of that particular nerve. So if the excess fat gets deposited anywhere in your system, it will decrease the performance of that system. Suppose this phone is having 12 GB RAM, so and I will daily make videos and deposit it in this phone. I will not delete any video and continuously making video, and so what will happen? At particular time, what will happen? This is the whole 12 GB will be full. Then what will happen? This phone will be started hanging. So what will happen? Even if the call will come again, I am doing this and this, but I cannot connect to the phone. So this is known as phone is hanging. So if anybody is doing work at office and many hundreds of people came around his room, so what will happen? He will not be able to do work comfortably, because he will feel pressure of this so much grouping. So the same thing happens with our different body. So it will deteriorate due to the excess calorie that I deposit in our system, and so I will develop. So what will happen if if I am taking 10 chapati, 10 roti, 10 bread a day, I am taking this 4 potato a day, I am taking 4 apples a day, I am taking this 1 liter of milk a day, I am taking sugars and jaggeries daily. So what will happen? The whole cumulative calorie will be around 3000 4000 calorie, and only 2000 calorie I am needing. I am taking 4000 calorie. So the excess calorie will gets deposited, and it will not only make me obese, but also give me different diseases like blood pressure, like hypertension, like diabetes mellitus, like hypothyroidism, like heart attack, and like stroke, and like liver and kidney failure. So this is the different disease that can occur, all the types of mental illness, psychiatric illness, all types of this sexual illness I will develop. This is the one aspect of the danger that I am producing due to our habit of taking excess meal. This is not the only one this is the all aspect. There are another aspect also. How the excess food damages us, there are another aspect also. Excess food that I will take daily on a day-to-day basis will also gets converted into this inflammatory cytokines, and these inflammatory cytokines and different autoantibodies will be made. And how the inflammatory cytokine and autoantibodies formation will be increased inside your body? Because due to the increase in the insulin level, because insulin is a growth factor. So insulin not only increases the positive things inside your body, but also increases the negative things inside your body, which would be harmful for your body. So while taking excess carbohydrate diet, high calorie diet, you not only develop this or different metabolic syndromes, but also develop some inflammatory disease also. So in a nutshell, I call all the inflammatory things in a form of acid. I call it that your body will develop tejab or acid. Like with Harpic, you wash your utensils, wash your toilet with this Harpic. So the Harpic contain acids, and this acid, if comes on this toilet pan, it will dissolve all this debris. So like that, if you start developing inside your body inflammatory cytokines, then all the cytokine storm, like finding all the inflammatory conditions, your body will start developing. So if the excess acid gets deposited inside our respiratory tract, then we will develop tonsillitis, sinusitis, or develop this asthma, this pneumonia like condition. If the excess this acid inflammatory cytokine gets deposited on the skin portion of our body, then what will happen? We will develop all types of dermatitis, like vitiligo, like psoriasis, like eczema, like all types of different skin dermatitis. And if the excess acid gets deposited inside our scalp skin, then our hair will be started getting increased falling. So we will develop baldness. If the excess this acid gets deposited inside our nail, so our nail will be get deformed. If the excess acid gets deposited in our joints, then we will develop different types of arthritis, whether it is rheumatoid arthritis or osteoarthritis like that, or gouty arthritis. So if the excess acid gets deposited inside the liver, we will develop jaundice. If the this acid gets deposited at a particular point of time, place, then we will develop this malignancy. So while taking excess calorie, our mitochondria gets exhausted and mitochondrial DNA gets damaged, leading to all types of autoantibodies and free radicals and inflammatory cytokines formation, leading to the different elements like this epilepsy and this arthritis, this pneumonia like that, this eczema and psoriasis and vitiligo like that. And the excess, this is not the only aspect. There is a third aspect also. If you take excess calorie, then some of the excess calorie gets converted into the sugar, simple sugar, will comes inside your sweat, will comes inside your saliva. So if your sweat sugar is increased, if your saliva sugar is increased, it will attract different infections. So if your sweat sugar is increased, it will attract different fungal infection, and you will develop different types of tinea corporis and tinea cruris, like that. Different types of dermatophytosis you will develop. Different types of bacterial skin infection like furuncle and carbuncle you will develop. If your sweet contain more amount of sugar, why the sugar has been more delivered to your sweat? Because you have taken extra, and in on day-to-day basis, though some of the portion is gets diffused inside your sweat, leading attracting different infections, and you will develop fungal infection, bacterial infection, and viral infection like chickenpox and herpes zoster. And if the excess sugar gets diffused inside your saliva, then what will happen? You will develop different infective elements like coronavirus infection, like black fungus infection, like this tuberculosis infection, like that. So in another, there is a kahavat and this colloquial sayings that chinia giraiba ta chitiya lagbe kari. If you drop sugar, then ants will come. If you drop sugar, then ants will definitely come. So if you take excess sugar, your system is not utilizing that sugar, then your system will accumulate the extra sugar, attracting different microorganisms towards your system, leading to the different infections. So now you have known that there are 3 ways through which excess calorie have damaged you, and there are 4th ways also. Whatever inflammatory damage that your body has got, whatever fatty deposition damage that your body have got, inside your body there is also some mechanism to fight for any different disturbances, and that fighting probability is known as immunity. And that immunity, the backbone of immunity is provided by protein. And if you take excess calorie and excess carbohydrate, then definitely you are taking less protein and less fiber, so your immunity will be jeopardized, leading to the different formations, again aggravating the problems. So these are the 4 ways through which your body will got in trouble while taking wrong food and wrong this dietary and wrong lifestyle. So now we have seen that if anybody has got urticaria, so why urticaria? It is due to excess inflammatory cytokine that has accumulated in the skin. So excess cytokine not only have increased only in the skin, that excess carbohydrate that we have taken also have converted into the cytokine, and also cytokine increase also must have occurred in the liver, kidney also. So if you do all the investigation, then the slighter liver kidney elements and disturbances and can be recognized and can be shown to the patient in a quite early stage also. So that is the whole holistic health approach. So if you have got urticaria, you should know that you not only having urticaria, but you have also got many of the ailments which might have you have not came into your consciousness due to your lack of knowledge. But if your physician can do all the investigation on you, then definitely he can elaborate, he can show you the different disturbances that you have developed, but you have not getting symptom, because God has given each and every organ in ample amount. Around 70% of kidney is extra, around 60% liver is extra, around 50% heart is extra, and around 40% brain is extra. So even if you block this 70% of your kidney, even if you block your 60% of your liver, even after that also, even if you block your 50% of your heart, again you will not develop any symptom. This can happen because everything is given in ample amount. So the time on which you have developed some symptom, then you should know that your body train have gone a lot, traveled a distance, then you are starting developing symptom. So if you want to get treatment when you develop symptom, then sometimes it will be a futile effort, because sometimes it will be late. So it will be more fruitful that if you can catch the disease at an earlier stage, so that before developing in an uncontrollable state, you can catch the disease entity, and you can cure the not only that particular ailment but the also future disease also. So this is the whole fund of holistic health approach, and this is nowhere written in any medicine books. This is the culmination of the whole experience that I have developed while seeing the patient. And this is not only the culmination of my patient seeing experience, there is more another dimensions also. And what is the other dimension? The dimension is that myself in 2016 was 84 kg. I was weighing 84 kg, and at that time I used to eat each and everything which came in front of me. I used to eat, but due to that I have developed hypertension. I have developed 84 kg of my weight. Nowadays I am 54 kg, but there was a time that when I was 84 kg in 2016, and I have developed hypertension. I have developed renal and kidney stone. I have developed this vertigo, penile positional vertigo like thing, and there are 4 to 5 more ailments also. And I have taken treatment for not that 1 or 1.5 years. And when I have left this all high carbohydrate diet, then I have recovered from all my ailments. Now I have no any disease. So I always advise to my patient that you should avoid particularly those things which contain more than 80% carbohydrate and fat. So you should avoid that. You should know that 1 calorie dissipation needs 12 steps walking. If you want to dissipate 1 calorie, then you have to walk for 22 steps. If I can talk continuously for 1 hour, if I walk for 1 kilometer, in both cases I will dissipate only 50 calorie. And if I take one small banana, then I will be taking not less than 50 calorie. So taking calorie is very easy and dissipating is very difficult. If you eat one medium sized pizza, it will give you not less than 600 calorie. 1 calorie dissipation needs not less than 22 steps. So if you want to dissipate this 600 calorie, that is 1 medium sized pizza, you will have to walk at least for 600 into 22, around not less than 13 or 14 thousand steps, 13-14 kilometer if you walk, then you will dissipate only 1 medium sized pizza. So you can now think that how much easy to of taking calorie and how difficult it to dissipate. So this is another wrong thing that has occurred in medical science, is that dietary advice is provided by another person and drug advice is provided by another person. So this is wrong. How can a dietitian know advise you the proper diet if she or he doesn't read the architecture of the body? So if he or she has not been taught about medical science, how he or she can tout you that you should take this much calorie and this much calorie? So this should be done by a physician only, but physician doesn't find itself time enough so that he or she can elaborate to the patient. But this is not the only reason. Another reason is also, there is another kahawat in Hindi, another colloquial saying in Hindi, that पर उपदेश कुशल बहुत तेरे. It is very much essential to acquire and assimilate your teaching first yourself, then preach to anybody. So before preaching to anybody else, you acquire the same your teaching to your body also. So if your physician is more than your the body weight that he should if your physician is itself having more than BMI that is required for his body weight, for his body height, so how can he will teach you the right thing? If he or she or itself is suffering for diabetes and hypertension and this hypothyroidism, and he or she consider that these three elements cannot be removed completely, then definitely he or she cannot be able to teach you the lesson, because the proper lesson can only be given to you through those physician who is also which is a proper role model for you. So this is another also aspect, that is why any physician why cannot tell you that this all things. They only write drugs. So they only write drugs, and you cannot cure this underlying cause of your ailment. So there are sayings in Hindi that दवा भी रहे, डॉक्टर भी रहे, बीमारी भी रहे, मरीज भी रहे. So you should have, you are getting a treatment which is set on a base which says that do the as treatment to the patient as there is no harm to the doctor, there is no harm to the drug, there is no long term harm to the patient, and there is no long harm to this disease. So like that. So in this way you will definitely got in the trap of this whole business of the drug, and you will not definitely get the whole health that you should achieve. And you should know that God has given you only the health, and you have made your health into the disease through your wrong diet and exercise habit. So this is only the host factor in your hand. Rest, agent and environment, these two factor is not in your hand. So the host factor, what you should eat and what you should not eat, how much time you should walk, this is the basic thing of treating any diseases. So you should avoid those food that contain high carbohydrate, high fat, high calorie diet. So you should not take sugar, jaggery, rice, particularly rice made in cooker. What is the special thing in cookered rice? The starch remains inside, and the starch and sugar is the same thing. So you should avoid sugar. And what is the sugar? Whether you take sucrose, whether you take fructose, whether you take glucose, whether you take a starch, whether you take glycogen, all things gets converted into a simple molecule like glucose or fructose, and ultimately these two things work in the body in the similar fashion. So if you don't do enough physical labor, please avoid this high calorie diet and this refined food. So you should avoid sugar, jaggery, rice, cookered rice particularly, potato, all the things which germinate inside your soil, you should avoid it, because it all the tubers you should avoid, because it contain very much amount of this carbohydrate, that is starch. So sugar, jaggery, you should avoid sugar, jaggery, cookered rice, potato, red meat, and sweet fruits and fruit juices. You should avoid milk. You should avoid refined flour and maida. You should avoid chips, and you should avoid products made from refined flour or maida. You should avoid chips. You should avoid chocolates. You should avoid ice creams. You should avoid cold drinks. You should avoid sweets. You should avoid samosa. You should avoid pizza. You should avoid burgers. You should avoid Horlicks. You should avoid Bournvita, Complan, protein powder, and large fish. These all things you should avoid. because it contains disproportionate amount of carbohydrate and fat and very less amount of fiber and protein. So you should take those medications, you should take those foods which is having relatively less amount of carbohydrate and fat and more amount of fiber and protein. And what are those foods? That foods are cooked pulses, like we in India make dal, so you should take proper amount of dal or a sprout. So cooked pulses solutions you should take, and you should take roti, bread and chapati, not more than 3 pieces a day, not more than that. You should take all types of green vegetables, and only take green vegetables without mixing the जो है कि अंडर सॉइल ट्यूबर्स, like potato, like carrot, like radish, like beet. This you should avoid. And you should take salads. You take only 2 things, that is cucumber and tomato, but you should avoid radish, carrot and beet. So that is, you should avoid mooli, gajar or chukandar. You should avoid. You should take paneer, but only not as a raw paneer or chena, but you should take it as a palak paneer or matar paneer curry once in a week. You should take proper amount of rajma, that is kidney bean. You should take proper amount of soya bean. You should take proper amount of egg daily. You can take 2 egg daily, the yellow portion removed. You can take 2 boiled egg daily. Only thing is that you should remove the yellow portion. And you can take a small fish once a week, and you should take a small boiler chicken once a week, and you should take not less than 300 ml of cooked pulses solution, that is dal, 3 times a day. So first you should take 1 bowl of dal, that is known as cooked steamed this pulses, and a solution you should take. Or if you're not familiar with dal, then you can take sprouts in a proper amount. And thereafter, first you take this sprout or dal, large bowl of dal pulses, and thereafter you take 1 plate of cucumber and tomato cutted, and rock salt sprinkled over it, and lemon juice sprinkled over it, and in a one whole this plate you can take. And thereafter your appetite will be finished to up to 50%, and then you take only 1 chapati, only 1 bread, and the whole lot of this green vegetables. So you should not keep your belly empty, but you should make it full, but not with this wrong things, but make it full with good things. That is, what is good thing? Those food that contain more amount of fiber and protein, that you should take. You should avoid protein powder because it doesn't contain any fiber, so you should avoid that. The best source of protein is your this green vegetables, your egg, this kidney bean, this soya bean. You should take in proper amount, and you should walk not less than 3 hours a day. You should walk for 3 hours a day. You should also show your skin, naked skin to the sun. So in a nutshell, we can summarize that why any diseases are occurring. As per my philosophy, I have discovered that any ailment is occurring due to the 6th reason. And what are the 6 axis of my this disease occurring philosophy is? What are the 6 axes? First, eating mindlessly unbalanced diet containing high carbohydrate and high fat and high calorie diet. So this is the first reason. Second is eating low fiber and low protein diet. So you should take plenty of high fiber and high protein diet. Third one is cause is leading sedentary lifestyle, that is not walking for 2 hours a day. So you should walk not less than 2 hours a day. Either you do cycling, either you do gym activity in not less than 2 hours, do 120 minutes a day. And fourth cause is remain indoor and not letting the skin to get sun exposure even for half an hour a day. So you should also expose your skin for half an hour a day, so that due to the photosynthesis vitamin D can be made inside your system. And fifth cause is not getting deep sleep for 6 hours, minimum 6 hours at night. So you should take not less than 6 hours, yes, deep sleep. And the sixth and the last and not the least cause is that not living in present but living in desire, living in future, and living in memories and living in past. So this is the sixth reason due to which anybody become diseased. And if anybody can conquer these six cavities of the body, six cavity of the life, then definitely he or she can regain health and he can cure all ailments through this approach. So in my approach, any disease person that come to me, what I do all investigations like liver function test, kidney function test, CBC, LFT, KFT, TSH, NT-TPO, CRP, SONA, TORCH test, and this D-dimer studies, this serum testosterone, prolactin, LH, FSH ratio, this carcinoma embryonic antigen, alpha fetoprotein, IgE level, insulin level, HOMA-IR, HbA1c, or blood sugar fasting PP. The whole lot of investigation I used to do in each and every patient. And first, in the first time the patient came to me, I do all investigation. Thereafter, 1 month after, I repeat only those investigations which I came wrong, which I came faulted. So that investigation I repeat 1 month after, and I show the patient that look, so much improvement that you have got after changing your diet and lifestyle. So this is the holistic, and by this method I used to cure all my diseases, this is the thing I have learned in so much time in this Indira Gandhi Institute of Medical Sciences. And if I known this, then it is my duty to get it dispersed and get this knowledge to be spread through the social media and whatever ways I am comfortable with. So it is my bound duty to convey it to the others. So that's why I made this video. And I must thanks to those friends which have advised me to also make this video in English, so that those persons who doesn't know Hindi cannot get this ignorant from the knowledge that I have learned through my experiences. So everybody should have got opportunity to learn it and to become doctor on its own. By changing your diet, all diseases can be cured. By changing your diet and exercise, every big diseases can be cured not less than 50% only by changing diet or exercise. And if you don't change your diet and exercise, then definitely any diseases cannot be cured completely. So this is the dictum. Medical science is very easy if patient is cooperating with you and agreed to change his or her diet and lifestyle, then treating anybody is very easy. But treating anybody and curing any ailment is very difficult if patient become adamant of not getting his or her lifestyle to be changed. So this is the whole thing that I want to preach each and every patient of mine which comes to me to ask or to see the treatment. I used to tell the same story to each and every patient. This is the way, and through which I used to cure all the ailments. So you can take my online consultation. Here is my phone number. You can note. My phone number is 89699539194. Another number is 9386999300. The same number is also written in the video that you are seeing in the YouTube. The same phone number is also written over there, that you can take from that also. But if you are seeing this video on Facebook, then in that case in Facebook also it is written. So yeah, you can consult me for online consultation. I will be more than happy to help you, because I consider every patient is my God, and I consider my OPD is as my temple. So only doctor is not a second God, but this deceased fellow is also a God. हिंदी में कहा गया पीड़ित मानवता भी भगवान होता. So the patience through which you have heard my all this lecture, I must salute you and must pranam to you, give pranam to you, so that you have given me enough opportunity to serve to you. So it is my pleasure. I will more than happy to solve any further your complaint. So keep in touch with me and keep healthy and avoid high carbohydrate, high calorie diet, because mankind has started doing less physical labor due to the invention of different instruments. So now government should ban the high carbohydrate diet, and this is the thing already going in many different highly developed societies, but definitely it will be a common knowledge to each and everything. So I must thank you for your patient listening, and I will again remain in touch with me and like and share this video and channel. Thank you.